as a demisexual person myself, I feel like I've heard everything under the sun to invalidate said experience. For those of you who don't know what demisexuality is, it's a sexuality under the asexual spectrum. And I thought, why not make a video like these ones about demisexuality? So let's get into 5 things you should never tell a demisexual. Number 1, everyone is like that. So for those of you who don't know what demisexuality entails, it is a label under the asexual spectrum that means you don't have any sexual attraction unless you have formed a close bond with the other person first. AKA, I do not have sexual attraction until that bond is formed. So 96% of my life, I have lived as an asexual person, going about my day as an ace person, and then bam, sexual attraction randomly hits. And I hate it every single time. Yeah, no, it literally sucks ass, and I don't know how allosexual people do it. It's so just not fun to deal with. So yes, not everyone is like that. I understand that most people would like to have some sort of relationship or bond with someone before they get into some sort of sexual liaison. How do you, what are words? But there's so many folks out there. Hell, I'll say the majority of people, because statistically, again, not everyone is like this. People have had hookups and were sexually attracted to those hookups, and those were people that they didn't know. Yeah, not everyone is like that. Number 2, you're just trying to be a special snowflake. So this one was actually said right to my face by someone that I considered a friend at the time. I don't anymore. When I was explaining my experiences as a demisexual person to them. I was explaining my relationship to sex as a demi person, and they literally just said, oh, stop, you're just trying to be a special snowflake. And I'm not gonna lie, I literally should have walked out right then and there. First of all, this is just fucking rude to say to anyone that's in the LGBTQIA+ community, but especially to someone who has a micro label who is trying to explain their experiences to someone who may or may not get it, and then get this response. No. Like, is that the nicest thing you could come up with to someone trying to share their life with you? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So other demi people out there, if someone says this to you, run away, because also, just want to remind you that no one's sexuality is them trying to make themselves into a special snowflake. There are a lot of other reasons why I'm special, but my sexuality is kind of like low on the list. Number 3, you need to just stop being so picky. So I don't necessarily think this is a universal thing, but I don't think anyone on the asexual spectrum, or people who aren't on the asexual spectrum, get to choose who they're attracted to. I know from my personal experience, whenever I've felt sexual attraction, it kind of just happens outside of my control, and I don't like it. Because I don't feel it as often, it is a very strong feeling when it does happen, and it's just so much of an inconvenience in my life when it does. And I'm like, go away, bye, I don't need you. Shoot. So yeah, I've personally never picked anyone to like have those feelings for. Demisexuality is just that, a sexuality. So like all of the other sexualities, and they don't get to decide who they're attracted to, demisexuals also don't get to decide who they're attracted to. Also, just a disclaimer, having standards for a partner just isn't a bad thing, so I've never really understood why this is an insult, like, in general. So like, if anyone wants to explain it down to me in the comments, like, please feel free. You're playing too hard to get. No, just no. This is something that I feel like most people on the asexual spectrum have heard, but as a demisexual person, I personally feel like it can potentially hurt us just a little bit more. And that is because demisexual folks can and do feel sexual attraction, but have that precursor in order to feel that attraction. It can really feel a lot of the times like we're leading people on, especially demisexuals who are on dating apps or in the dating scene in general. I've personally talked to a couple demisexuals who have told me about their experiences in trying to date, and they have to tell people that they're going on these dates with, hey, I might feel sexual attraction, or I genuinely might not, and I don't have control over whether or not that happens. And in doing so, have lost good potential relationships or connections with people because people are not willing to be with someone who isn't sexually attracted to them. So reducing demisexuality down to just playing hard to get is such a disservice in my mind to demisexuals' experiences and how badly we feel when we have to tell someone, hey, I might not be attracted to you. Like, we feel bad about it too. So yeah, it's kind of a sucky situation, like, all around. So no, it's not a playing hard to get thing, I promise you. Number 5, just pick one. You're either asexual or you're not. This is just shitty on like so many levels. I promise you that demisexuals can and do struggle with this very thing because of the occasional attraction that we do feel. I know I definitely have had imposter syndrome in the past before about my demisexuality and asexuality because of the attractions that I've felt throughout my lifetime. But when I talk to an allosexual person, aka someone who's not on the asexual spectrum, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I don't experience what they're all experiencing over there. Asexuality is a spectrum, and demisexuality is on that spectrum. And you really shouldn't be telling someone to pick a side of themselves. So,
what do you mean now? I gotta go.
Where are you going?
Gotta work. Stop.
Well, I'm working right now. You helping me work.
Ooh, off camera hug. Yeah, off the record.
Do a video with me, you bitch. Like an actual video.
When I look better, probably.
You do look amazing.
Eh.
It's just so damaging and can cause demi folks harm to their mental health. And that's speaking as someone who has had damage to my mental health because of this kind of thing. I mean, you wouldn't tell a bisexual person to pick a side, would you? Yeah, and that's a rant for a whole other video. But yeah, don't tell a demisexual person this. It's not helpful. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you're demisexual and what people have said to you when you've come out to them, or just these kind of like little comments that people have said about your sexuality. It sucks, but if we all complain about it together, it'll at least be a little cathartic. Let me know in the comments down below if there are any other sexualities that you want me to do these kind of videos on. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.